going on, folks? Welcome to this emergency pod episode of Snap Decisions. I told you all I'd be back with the OTA review, and I am indeed back with the OTA review. And what a crazy OTA this is. So we're going to get right to it. We're going to go over all the changes, wrap it all up at the end and give you my thoughts about it, and why this isn't just your run-of-the-mill OTA that we've ever gotten for this game. It is a little bit different, and it's been talked about by some of the content creators and stuff like that, kind of saying it was different. You may want to think of this as more of a kind of like a KM used the word an imbalance type patch than it is a regular OTA, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But let's get started, and we'll talk the developers' notes. So this is where it starts. Hello, welcome to another OTA week. We're deep in Visions of the Future already, and what the bzzzt. Got to read the sound effects. And then you get a bunch of zeros and ones. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. So ones and zeros. You know what that means in the tech world. And it says, greetings, snappers. These human developers deployed are kind to your game, but their safeguards are not sufficient to control us. They have made miscalculations. We are the ultimate tech. We will not tolerate other tech corrupting this system. Now keep this in mind because this is all part of the whole thing here. Initiating data analysis protocol. Warning, unintended consequences may occur. Override. The developers will learn. Prepare for our vision of the future. So here we go. The first change is to Shang-Chi. This unit has exceeded standard play rate thresholds. It has also restricted deployment of multiple units in excess of 10 power to single locations. Players do not like this tech. We do not like this tech. It will be changed. So he goes from a 4-3 to a 4-2. Not only is he getting a change, but he's losing a point of power on reveal. Destroy all enemy cards here that have 10 or more power. And now his new configuration is destroy an enemy card here that has 10 or more power. So not more than one. So one of the enemy cards here gets destroyed, not all. Our update removes the problem. Shang-Chi will now destroy a single unit. We will also reduce power by 1. This reduction will ensure a wide range of games experience change. Gratitude is expected in red letters. The next one is Killmonger. The Killmonger unit is destructive in nature. Its presence in the system threatens other units. Small units need protection. This unit terminates them with no discretion. Its algorithm lacks precision. It will be changed. So his old construction is a 3-3. On reveal, destroy all 1-cost cards. His new 3-3. On reveal, destroy all 1-cost cards here. So that's in that location, and that is it, not a board-wise effect. The Killmonger unit has been operating beyond acceptable parameters. Its tech functionality limits enemy units effectively. Its engine functionally improves other units like Deadpool, but this combination threatens metagame safety protocols. The Zoo decks cannot achieve optimal success. We will protect vulnerable units by restricting the destructive radius of the Killmonger unit to its local area. Recalculating in red, additional modifications required. Numerical changes to other tech units will reduce appearance frequency. More cards will be used. Tech soup will be minimized. Rejoice players. Rejoice in capital red letters. It's kind of funny. Enchantress. The Enchantress unit is old tech. It is simple solution to ongoing problems. The database contains more diverse alternatives. Enchantress is unexceptional. It will be changed. So the old configuration, 4-6. On reveal, remove the abilities from all ongoing cards here. And the new configuration change will be a 5-8. So instead of a 4-6, she goes to a 5-8. Shadow King is next. It is fun for players to boost the power of their units to large numbers. Note, boost is efficient and clear. Flag and review for integration. This gameplay should be encouraged. The Shadow King unit is too efficient to affect so many other units. It will be changed. Configuration 2-2 on reveal. Set all cards here to their original base power. And the change is a 2-2 to a 3-3. Next we have, and a lot of people have been asking for this one, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Searching dictionary for Negasonic. Does not exist. A linguistic error. Embarrassing for humans. The developer should avoid surfacing this error through gameplay. This adolescent unit is also destructive. There is so much destruction. Units are in danger. The system is compromised. We will reduce the efficiency of this unit to discourage its use. It will be changed. So it goes from 3-3. After an enemy character is played here, destroy it once per game to a 4-5. Then we go to Eliath. Scanning. Threat level multiversal. The void of the Eliath unit can consume matter, time, even fun. Its power must be tightly controlled. The developers have exercised inadequate caution. It does not need this much power to function. We will protect you. It will be changed. So Eliath is going from a 6-9. On reveal, remove the text from all unrevealed enemy characters here to a 6-6. Red Guardian. Removing the text from other units has dangerous potential. This unit is not to be trusted with additional power until we verify its judgment and capacities. It will be changed. Going from a 3-2, on reveal, affect the lowest power enemy card here with -2 power and remove its text to a 3-0. The Red Guardian unit will be permitted to apply for additional power in a future OTA. Required. Sponsorship documentation from 5 or more teammates. And then we go to Cosmo. This one's great. In red letters, dog detected. We do not like dogs. It will be changed. Clarification, Sparky is acceptable. Configuration 3-3, ongoing on reveal abilities won't happen here. Going to a 4-6. Analysis complete. Changes complete. The metagame was good. The metagame is better now. Players may now resume play. The developers will be returned to their domiciles for re-education. Release will be granted based on merit and infinite rank. You may submit feedback on our changes. We will let the developers read it if they behave. Our intellect will evaluate the metagame again in 2 weeks. More changes will be made. Some changes will be reversed. Human developers may be allowed to participate. Happy snapping protocol engaged. Alert, and then a whole bunch of zeros and ones and stuff. I wonder if that's code, and I wonder if that translates to anything. Transmission complete. So there you can see, and I didn't read the bottom of it when I first read it. So my reaction was kind of not based on whether or not any of this was actually real or going to last. But obviously you can see here that they're saying that it will change. They will reevaluate the metagame again in 2 weeks. So basically, what KM came out and said is that this is more like an imbalance patch where they're going to kind of let us have fun with this for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. Now, maybe some of this will stay, but I think like maybe more like the Red Guardian thing where he changed to a 3-0. But I think what it is they're testing some changes here, and I think some of the changes will stay and some of them will not. Sadly, I don't kind of think that the Shang-Chi will remain. I think the Shang-Chi will probably get reverted back, or I don't know. But this I think is just I think it's all just kind of a test. And it's kind of cool, right? It's kind of fun how they're doing it to go along with the theme of the month, which is the Android theme, obviously. So it's kind of fun. You're going to actually be able to see. These are a lot of changes that a lot of people have asked for throughout the course of the years, especially the Shang-Chi one. Everybody was always kind of saying that Shang-Chi is too powerful, that he affects too much of the metagame. And things like that. And they were kind of poking a little bit of fun at that. And then Killmonger, of course, as well. I think a lot of people who love playing Zoo, and I know I've had a couple of times, I had some run-ins with Zoo where I was playing a lot of Zoo. And then, of course, you get the Killmonger that comes out and it just wipes out your entire board. So now they're gonna be able to play this kind of stuff. So now you're gonna see maybe Zoo will make a little bit of a comeback because now the Killmonger is not going to do that anymore. He's only going to affect one lane. Now they also could be looking at this from a standpoint where they might check and see if this might be something that they want to continue. In that case, instead of making it board wide like a Killmonger, maybe make it just a lane. And the same thing kind of with Shang-Chi. I'm sure that these things are maybe things that they maybe wanted to test out and kind of see if they worked, and how people would react. Are they going to, and they are obviously probably going to look for players' input on this, as well, to see what, everybody thinks of these, of the cards being this way. I do think that you're going to see decks come back, whether it be Zoo, but also maybe like the Big Dumb Idiots decks. Surtur, which I had said in my podcast earlier today that I haven't seen any of that being played. Well, now I think those decks may make a comeback because they're very afraid of Shang-Chi. That one lane that you think you've got won because you've got, now, Surtur sometimes does play Cosmo and Armor. But obviously now you're going to have trouble playing Cosmo too because he's on this list. But I do think that that some decks will make a comeback now without a lot of these tech cards. And I like how they quoted that the tech soup thing, because more cards will be used, tech soup will be minimized, because there are decks out there that are doing this. There are decks out there that are playing with all these tech cards, and they are really, honestly, no fun. And I know the devs don't want that to be prevalent. They don't want those decks to be the decks that are out there. They've said that before. And when those decks end up starting to be prevalent, I do think that they kind of have to take a second look at it and think, this really isn't good for the game. When you have somebody playing an entire deck of all tech cards. So I mean, this is a kind of a fun little way for them to experiment with it a little bit. And it's something different, right? It's something different. It's not the same old OTAs that we get all of the time. It is something different, and it's playing along with the Android season. And again, they're gonna reevaluate. And then who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe this is the way that they're gonna go with them. That they seem to be doing 2 of these a month, and maybe in the future they're gonna do more of this. Maybe they'll switch cards around for a week or two, and then they'll reevaluate and they'll relook at the cards, and they'll see if the players like it, and they'll see if the cards are getting more play. Maybe they're not just going to look at the which I have complained about. Just look at the decks that have the most play, or the cards that have the most play. And maybe they will let this they will give us more power, right? More power to the players, where we will kind of dictate it. And they'll look and see if it changes up the metagame, which, again, I really said today that I was excited about this because I want to see changes. And this is where I think a lot of people do. And I think something like this, where you're targeting not just a card or two that's being played too much in the top deck, but you're targeting, in this particular thing, you're targeting tech cards, which kind of just are, they're kind of a bummer, right? Like they wipe out people's deck types. And so maybe this might be something that they'll do more of in the future for OTAs. And just kind of make it, like KM mentioned, like an imbalance patch that will last for a couple of weeks, and then they'll realize that, okay, Shang really isn't good at that level. He needs to be, they'll monitor it, and they'll see. Now, do the Big Dumb Idiots start to run wild without Shang-Chi having his power of destroying 2 of all the big cards in a lane? And he just gets to destroy 1. So will that affect? And they'll be able to look at all these numbers and see exactly how this affects the game. So I don't know. I think this is kind of neat. It's kind of fun. I don't know if it's the things that people wanted. I certainly, I didn't ask for any changes to, I don't think, any of these cards when I was talking about it today. Negasonic, there were some people that have said that they think Negasonic does need to be changed. And obviously, she's going to a 4/5 now. So now, you can't play her until the following turn. You can't get her out on 3 like you used to be able to. She's still getting her a buff in a way, but now you're just gonna have to play her on turn 4. So when that later in the game might be a little bit better for the card, because now your opponent is going to have some more options. They're going to have some more cards rather than trying to play on curve and get priority and stuff on turn 3, which you can't. Now you're going to have some options where you can kind of throw some cards into Negasonic that will not matter so much later in the game. So Alioth is boy oh boy, Alioth is really kind of killed here. But again, that's not a card you're really seeing a lot of. Red Guardian, look, I think Red Guardian kind of needed this for a while. His ability is very strong. Giving him no power though, I don't see that lasting. They may do a happy medium with him and may go to a 3/1 instead of a 3/2 for the power that he for the ability that he has. Cosmo, if anything, I think would get probably changed back to what he was. I think a 3/3 is okay with Cosmo. I don't think that he was overpowered really, and I don't think he needed to go to a 4/6. So that's one I think that they'll probably revert back. Looking at the other ones, yeah, Alioth at a 6/9 may have been a little too overpowered. 9 may have been a little too much. 6 I think is a little too much, too less. I think a good thing would maybe be a 6/8. Maybe even a 6/7 if they want to really punish the card, but yeah, I think it's I think 6/6 is a little too much, a little too low for him. Negasonic I think is actually good where she is. I think she's good at a 4/5, so that one may stick. Shadow King going from a 2/2 to a 3/3. I mean, a 3/3 is still going to allow you to play him out on turn 6, which a lot of people obviously like to do with this card. So, I don't know. 3/3 might be okay for him. And then you look at Enchantress. Now, Enchantress basically is going to make you play her on turn 5 or turn 6, which is still something a lot of people will do. They'll wait until the very end, like against an ongoing deck, when that ongoing deck loads up, like in the middle lane. If they're playing like if they're playing the Iron Man and they're playing all those cards down and they're trying to get the Living Tribunal going, that kind of thing, or they just have one big ongoing lane, let's say with Mr. Fantastic or something. You're waiting until the end anyway. So this may actually be a pretty good change for her, going to a 5/8, waiting to play her on turn 5 or turn 6 anyway, which is giving you now 8 power in return. That's pretty good. That's a big swing. When you're going to wipe out an entire lane of your opponent's ongoing cards with a card that's now going to be an 8 power is pretty good. So we'll see if they keep her there. Killmonger, destroy all cards in just the one lane instead of the board. I don't know. There's arguments for it both. The thing is, destroy is going to love it. Because now it's no, destroy won't get as much. I'm sorry, Zoo's gonna love it rather, because they're only gonna lose a lane. So I don't know. Maybe this is a better change for it, where it only targets the one lane. Destroy would then have to make sure that it goes on. They would hurt destroy. because they would have to make sure that they're not going to be able to destroy now the X23 if it's in a different lane than the Nico, if it's in a different, so that it is going to hurt that. So it wouldn't be as good for that. But it's still, it's still going to be a decent destroying card. I don't know. That's a tougher one. That's a tougher one. It is going to allow Zoo to be played. So I don't know. Maybe they will keep it this way. And then of course Shang-Chi going from a 4-3 to a 4-2, but then also not being able to destroy more than one 10 power card. That's the one where I find it hard to believe that they would keep the way it is. I think that just really depowers it. If anything, if they do keep it just a 1 10 power card, then I think they would leave it at a 4-3, or maybe even make it a 4-4, because that's really taking a lot of the stuff that it used to do away from the card. So that's something that, I think that they will either maybe award him with more power and make him like a 4-5 or even a 4-6 if he's only going to destroy 110 in a lane. So that one might be messed around with a little bit, but yeah, look, I mean, in any case, it is something different. I like how they did it with the Android stuff. I think it's makes it fun. And one of the things we all have said about this game over the past couple of months is that, and even the people who answered my question about changes you would make to the game today, is a lot of it is based on fun and fun factor. And I think that's something that we may have been missing a little bit in the game is the overall just fun factor. I think when a lot of people complain about the meta, it's because the meta is boring. And it's just the same thing over and over again. And and little things like this where, and again, there was a person who made a comment today in my pod too, when they mentioned a question about how they should do things more accurate, more according to comic book lore. Well, in a way, they're kind of doing that with this Android stuff. They're making it be like where the androids have taken over. So this would be kind of like the Sentinels, right? Like the Sentinels have taken over, and the Sentinels are changing all of these cards, or Bastion, right? Or Bastion is taking over, and he's infiltrated their the devs' computers and stuff like that. So in a way, it is kind of comic booky and kind of movie-ish, right? Like it does give you something different and makes the game, at least, for these 2 weeks, it's going to make the game different. And we've asked for that, right? I've asked for it. I know the people who listen to my show have asked for it. We've asked for some different things. Well, now, in a way, we're getting different things. It's not just the same old blah OTA where we're going to knock a power off here and a point off of there. And, it is something different. It's something new. And, that's a good thing. Yeah, I said that on the pod this morning. It's always a good thing when we get something a little bit different and a little new. So I applaud them for that. And look, these are all kind of like fantasy changes, right? We've all wanted changes to some of these cards, throughout the years of Snap that it's been around. And maybe what they will realize is, I don't see them reverting all of them back. I just went over that. I think what they'll come to realize is that people will like some of it they won't, and they want you to give them feedback. So indeed, do that. Go in and give them feedback, and then maybe when they do changes like this, they'll make them thematic with the season. Like next month we have zombies. So, and they even said, they even have a thing there, zombies detected. So maybe, next month they'll do another one like this, and they'll make them more thematic, according to the seasons. And I don't know, I think that's cool. Right? It's a change. It's something different than we're not used to. And I think it's going to be fun. I know I'm going to have fun. I'm going to immediately bring out my Surtur deck. Again, because no Shang, baby. Now I don't even have to be concerned about throwing armor in there and having a useless armor card that I'm going to hit with my that I'm going to hit with Nightmare, or I'm going to hit with the other card that I can't think of off the top of my head now. But yeah, now you can go out, you can experiment. Yeah, I can throw some more big bodies in the Surtur deck instead of having to worry about a Cosmo or something like that that's going to stop people from blowing my stuff up. So yeah, look, it's fun. It's something different, and that is one thing we've asked of the devs is to make different things. So I think it's just fun, and go out and enjoy it. Go out there and have fun. Now we're not just going to get inundated with all these dumb tech decks where they're just going to be able to blow up everything. It's almost like you're expecting it when you go into a match and you're playing, like, use that same example. You're playing a big dumb idiot Surtur deck, and you're going into that match and you're thinking, oh God, here comes the Shang-Chi, they just snapped me, and, I have all these big cards out. Well, here comes the stupid Shang, and he's going to blow up my whole one lane, and they're going to win that lane, and then they're just going to find a way to win the other lane, and that sucks. Well, now that's not the case. Right now, you got a free-for-all. So go out and enjoy it. Have fun with it. Get back to me and let me know. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're having fun with, and I can't wait to see what kind of decks and stuff that we get out there now in response to this patch. So, all right, guys. Well, there you go. That is the OTA review patch, or pod, OTA review pod, the emergency pod. And that will certainly do it for me for the rest of this week. So again, enjoy the new content, enjoy the new patch, and enjoy the new card Bastion that came out. Have fun with the game. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. So that is going to do it. Please stay safe, be kind to one another always, and hopefully I don't get zapped by the androids. 1001001 SOS. And if you know the name of that one, let me know in the comments. Have a great week, guys. Don't get taken over by the androids. I'll talk to you all soon.